Hello, everybody. Um, all right, let's talk the new slide tray. Um, okay, so the premise behind the whole slide tray was because obviously Bolt Action has a lot of vehicles and stuff like that, and you can't really anchor them anyway other than by themselves or do some type of modification underneath of a tank for magnets or whatnot, which costs extra for magnets and coming up with something special for that. Um, Anyways, let's just get to it. Don't want to make this too long, just quick and simple. Oops. So let's see if I can get this in the right spot here so you can see it properly. Maybe I'll move the camera a bit. All right, that's a little better. Okay, so slide tray. So these can move back and forth to squeeze your miniature bases. So far, I have not found a single base that I can't hold with this thing. So it's going to be very handy for moving those one-off models, especially like, for example, Treebeard that I have from way back when. He has a kind of a one-off custom base, and so he was kind of hard to put into a slide tray or make one just specifically for him. So with this, obviously, try not to keep pushing the button. Now with something like this, you can take a miniature that's kind of a one-off or big or large, I guess, in the sense that it's not really much to accommodate those kind of things. So I don't know if I can do it with this setup here or not, but I'll try. One of those big models that kind of, what do you do with it? And that's one of my Oliphants from Lord of the Rings. So I can put this on here by dropping the front doors and then squeezing and locking. Oops. It also works better if you have the TPU sliders, but there's a way that you can transport your Mumac or something like that. You'd probably have to go with the Leviathan for something that size, but it's doable. So that's one flaw I need to change with this, which I'll be working on, is when you got a nice tight lock and the doors are down, when you press the button, the lock bars can pop out, kind of like an old 90s toy thing going on there. Anyway, so you can jump around from model to model with this. It won't matter. This is a 3D printed base, not an official base, right? So you can go with something like that. What else we got here? Oh, we got the rounded style, kind of like Malifaux and I think Bushido. Not sure what else, but you can get that type of base as well. It's pretty open with this design that you can kind of transport anything you really need to. You can go straight over to a Dreadnought, Warhammer, Games Workshop bases. Transport that. What else? Here we go. Flames of War, Sturm Tiger tank. Just squeeze that in the TPU bumpers, and there's your Flames of War stuff. Going for a ride in your sweet, awesome ammo can. I'm pretty pumped about this one. This one makes me pretty happy. I have a lot of affection towards the World War II genre and stuff like that. So I'm loving this case. I tried to make it as close as I could to a 30 cal ammunition box, just due to the shape and size and the whole rectangle shape. Also sporting the new War-Ganizer shirt that I had made up with the 3.5 on the side, and there's some War-Ganizer stuff on the back, but I'll take some pictures of those if anybody's interested in a cool shirt to take out for game day or whatever. Yeah, so we can kind of hit a lot of targets with this one tray. You can use it as the slide tray style without like a bumper on the side here. Hard to see, but on the side you can add a TPU bumper, which I have done on this one, and I'll show you more here shortly. So there's a slotted section on the side that allows you to put the TPU bumpers in and stuff. So I'll just show you how those things go together, and then, you know, we'll wrap this up. Yeah, I have one here, all the pieces. So I'm just gonna pop this open and show you. So this is the base, or the body, I guess. You have your body, you have your lid or cover. So that would go on top. Anyways, button goes in, pretty simple. Button slides into its slot, then cover over top, and these are tapered, just tapered kind of pins just to snap them in place. This one has the TPU bumper on it already, which is here. So these just kind of slot into those grooves in the side, kind of like, so they just drop into these holes here, or slide in. They're TPU, so they're a little bit stretchy and flexible, and you know, I don't know. This is the first time for me using TPU. It printed okay. Obviously, it came out in a shape, so that's good. And here's the vehicle bumper. I don't know if you can see it well or not. It's kind of not focusing. Anyways, so these are just squishy little TPU bumpers. I guess I can do it this way. Sorry, I'm looking backwards in the camera. So they're just squishy little bumpers that you can use to, you know, anchor in your vehicles without damaging the paint. Or the paintwork works really good when grabbing onto the tracks of the vehicles, because they kind of, the bumpers kind of fit in around the tracks and the road wheels quite nicely. So you don't have to squeeze them overly tight. They will just grab a hold of them. They'll not allow them to fall out, which is kind of what you need. Unless you plan on throwing your case down the stairs, then yeah, probably squeeze it a little tighter. But I know I'm pretty careful with my cases when I'm out and about, because they're kind of full of real, you know, expensive miniatures. So I don't need a ton of, like I'm okay with them being able to move a little bit wherever I'm, you know, using them. Although, or storing them, taking them, it's okay if they jiggle a little. I'd rather them jiggle than be getting damaged because something's too tight or whatever. But anyway, so let's build this thing, which I kind of got distracted again because I have my ADHD brain. So body, cover, button goes in, cover goes on top. Yeah. And that's it for that. Now we're going to flip it over, and on the bottom side, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, if it'll see it, but on the bottom side you have letters. And so you have A, B, C, and D. Then you're going to have your tabs that go in to lock the slider to the tray. So these guys also have the letter on the bottom corresponding to the position in which we go. This is C. So you just match them up so that they're side by side kind of thing. C goes there. B goes here. Oop, upside down. There is a correct way, so they do need to go in they need to be what's the word I'm looking for? Lined up properly so that they're all the same direction. So after that, then it's just a matter of sliding in your locks. If you find that after you put these locks, I think I printed, they're old ones. Anyways, they're just a little too narrow. They were tests. I just grabbed the wrong ones, but anyways, so then you would just slide your locks in on the sides. Now, to put them into the trays is also very easy. On the side here, we have these slots. That's where your those little clamps kind of drop in. So you have to drop the door on the back side just to allow it to slide backwards or forwards, whichever way you angle it. And so with your locks in, yeah, same thing. And for putting them in, you just drop them into the hole and then make sure your slides aren't locked. And now we can slide back and forth. Squeeze the locks. And now we're tight again. Now she doesn't go anywhere. I could probably squeeze like this and get it to slide. But that'll also depend on how tight you make your lock bars. Now, so if you do have an issue with like some of the original ones that I did, my lock bars weren't tight enough, and that's just due to changes between filaments. I printed this in a different filament first, and the extrusion isn't as tuned, and it was really tight and worked great. And then I switched over to a different filament for this green color. This one I've been using for years now, and so I have it all tuned up really nice. And they were loose, so they weren't tightening down. So in the file set, you'll have there'll be a, if your slider's not tight file, there'll be two lock bars in there currently. I'll probably make some more if people need them. If they don't, then I won't. But all it does is just increase the Z height of, well, it doesn't really increase the Z height. Sort of does, but doesn't. It adds 0.2 millimeters to the bottom, and then you have a 0.4. If I need to, I can do 0.25, 0.3, because these guys are printed on their side. So the Z axis now becomes Y or X. So there's a lot more accuracy there instead of having just your layer heights of 0.2 or 0.15. So we don't have to change layer heights. You can just change that part out, and I can add more if they're needed. But that'll just be fit and finish on where you like your sliders and how tight you need them to be. So that's kind of it. So these TPU, also you have your risers. So these can be used to go in place of where the bumpers are currently on this one, which are on the side. You can swap out those bumpers and install your risers to put a new set of bumpers just higher up so that it can sit at a higher position. So there's two sizes, a low one and a tall one. And here's the low riser and the high riser. And then you have this one, which we showed before. This is just a TPU bumper if you wish to, because some guys don't. One of the things some guys don't like about the slide trays is that the bases slide within the tracks and can scratch the sides of the bases, right? So if you had some fancy painted bases or something like that around the sides and you didn't want them to be damaged, or maybe you're doing a painting competition and you're taking something pristine, then that's where the TPU comes in. So these can be placed on the side, which this one has already, and it allows that to kind of grip a little bit better and keep that miniature from sliding back and forth. Whereas the old slide trays, or I shouldn't say the old slide trays, the slide trays, they don't squeeze the model, so they can move back and forth. So there's clearance there, and some people might not like that. So the TPU bumper with these sliders will basically give you your, a tight fit, so nothing's going to slide around or move around. You're not going to damage any bases. You're not going to, I think this is going to be a versatile system for a lot of people, especially in the sense of, those games where maybe you don't play as often, and so you're not set up for it. I have a ton of models and stuff from years of doing this, and I just got tired of. I didn't want to print. I don't want to print trays for every single miniature that I own, and this is going to give it, give the War-Ganizer a way to transport kind of whatever you need. And I don't think you're going to be limited to just miniatures here either. I think this is going to open up some doors also for future designs for the War-Ganizer with this style. I may incorporate it into some new things. Also coming next month, so this is a little bit of a tease. I haven't really talked about it much, but I'm going to be doing half-sized trays. So I'm going to do a new half tray design. I'm going to do one with the the modular slides, and that will be an attachment that will go on the side of your case, and that will allow us to do something like, say you've got like a Predator or a Dreadnought, like a one-off, and you have a whole bunch of infantry and just one large model. You can, or maybe even two large models, you can put them in on a half tray on the side. So I'm going to do kind of like a little miniature extension for both attachments if you needed that extra space. What else? I think we'll just leave it at that. That's kind of 17 minutes now. Is there any questions? I know there's a few guys watching. Do you guys have any questions or anything you want to ask? And I can kind of grab those or get those things out of the way. If there's anything you guys are curious about. Hopefully the mic and everything has been good. This is a new camera, so I'm just trying it out for the first time today. Hopefully everything is good. Some autofocus stuff going on there I noticed earlier, but I think I'll use this camera in the future. But yeah, all right. Well, thank you guys again. Thank you for stopping in to check this out. If you don't know, I'm Dwayne. If there's some new guys here or new patrons or anybody that doesn't know much about what's going on yet, my name's Dwayne. I run 3.5, and I make cases and terrain and lots of stuff. For the most part, I just got, tired of wanting to have stuff in my gaming world that did not exist. So the 3D printers kind of allowed this to happen. And you guys as patrons supporting this and, backing me on the Kickstarters has really kind of changed my life now, especially considering I'm doing this full time. And so for that, I give you guys much praise, much thanks. I couldn't have done this without you. And just, it's opened up some doors for me that I never thought would be possible. So thank you guys very much for that. I hope that this is something that we can work on and build on in the future. I've already started thinking about how to make these smaller and narrower, I guess. Everything, just making them more compact. So we'll try for that, see how far I can get with the limitations of 3D printing and plastics, but we'll try making some smaller stuff and see if we can get more miniatures in there. I think it'll hold about 25 bolt action miniatures. So that was one of the big things with me with bolt action that I was struggling for so long, is because their bases are so small. They're so little skinny, little tiny little bases, and not either, like some of the bases aren't the same either. The older original ones for the metal minis have a curved rounded base, and the new ones are just kind of flat, and so they were a little bit trickier to anchor without damaging the sides. And this was kind of an attempt to you can't magnetize them. You can, but it's a lot of work, especially if you already have stuff painted. You're not going to go back for that. I don't know. I think this is going to be a good thing. I think this is going to be a good tray. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.